the second edition of MatchupCenter.com and how to make money betting NCAA basketball. Today we're going to take a look at a short number of games. We've got 8 games on the slate tonight. You see them listed here in chronological order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At MatchupCenter.com, what we provide is information, some of our indications as well, to help guide you in your search for the best bet, which really is finding good bets that have value and that most of them that risk are mitigated through. Anyway, to do that, we provide on our site best bets, and we do baseball, and we do NCAA men's basketball. So if you click on NCAA men's basketball, this will talk about the best bets for today. There are spreads and totals. There's such a very small slate of games. We feel like these two bets fit in the parameters of good bets, and we'll go over why in just a moment. We're only going to go over one game, and since this is a 54% game, let's take a look at the Kent State game. Kent State, Ohio. We're looking at an under bet here, under 144.5. So as you notice, I just clicked on the link to the left for Kent State. Takes me to the matchup. It's bet number 523 versus Ohio 524. It's a 9 o'clock game, so it's later in the evening. We can take a look at this is the information, as I've mentioned before, which is available to the viewing public. To get into our dashboard and our internal analytics, you're going to have to subscribe. We do offer a 7-day free trial, so we hope you're taking advantage of that. And you can look at any and all games to determine which one might fit your parameters. Or if you're interested in a game, you can certainly look at the information. So we're taking a look here at Kent State in Ohio. We see that Kent State away scores 68.6 this season, where Ohio at home is scoring about 77. Away, Kent State's giving up 68.6, while Ohio is giving up 62.3 at home. We look at their against the spread records. Away, Kent State is 1-1-1, and at home, Ohio is 2-2. Looking at the over/under, we see that Ohio has a better under record at 2-6-0, while Kent State is an over record at 2-4-0. Here's an important element that we like to look at. What is the RPI rating for each team? Typically, what we're looking for is who is going to impose their will on the other team. This is a slight indicator of that, as we'll look at our dashboard, which there are other indicators. And what we're looking for is everything lining up and pushing in the same direction. We're always going to have some variables that are going to suggest differently, but we're looking for all variables to be moving in the same direction. So we see that Ohio at a 505 and ranked number 155 in the nation out of 351 ball clubs has a better RPI than Kent State, which is 243 in the nation at 450. Since Kent State is a visiting team, you also have to give a little more weight to the home crowd. And at this point, just an initial quick blush, you're looking at, well, Ohio looks like they'll probably have a better chance of imposing their will upon Kent State as opposed to the other way around. All right, so we'll go down. This is, like I said, free to everyone. It talks a little bit about who the leading scorers are, the leading rebounders. Most importantly in this portion is the opening line, where Kent State opened at +6.5 and the over-under opened at 147.5. We know the under is at 144.5, which we talked about earlier. It's 144. So we see a move already from 147.5 to 144.5. So the market is somewhat supporting our initial, or at least our premise, that the under is probably the right play here. Kent State is at 6.5. I think now they were at 8. So they're looking at Ohio as being the stronger team and the better play there, as we suggested earlier. So we'll move down now. This is internal analytics that you'll get only at MatchupCenter.com, which is a series of calculations that helps us rate their offensive performances, defensive performance, rebounding performances, both from the O boards to the D boards, and their depth, talent, and experience rating. This is a very important number. It takes the top 100 ball players in the country, those who have the potential of moving to the next level, updates them, and it gives you a rating for that variable as well. So it combines the three: the percentage of returning minutes, the percentage of returning points, and the talent level based on who's going to be playing at the next level. So looking at this, we can see Ohio's got a strong offensive number, which usually doesn't bode well for the under perspective, but their defensive rating is 9.2, which also does kind of support that could be mitigated. 7.8 is a low scoring number, and you can tell by the amber colored box. Green is good, red is bad. So Ohio, but the 9.8 has a stronger defensive rating. And when you got 9.2 and 9.8 by the two teams, that's a very nice indicator that we could have a defensive ball game in front of us. Offensive rating from a rebounding, looks like Kent State hits the boards a little bit better. Defensive, they're pretty even. And from a talent level, you got Ohio with a 9.2, which is not surprising where they have this many returning minutes and this many returning points. And also it leads to for us to believe that they will be able to impose their will over Kent State. Final score is just an algorithm which produces a number of scores and comes up with a final. We're looking at this being a very tight ball game. That's why it looks like Kent State +8 is a nice play. However, if that's against the market predictions, we're not looking at that play. We're looking at the under, which we see at a 54.3%, and obviously 68 points plus 69 points plus 1.3 points is going to be a nice number below the 144. Now, again, this is all part of the initial view that you can see, which will also be duplicated in the decision dashboard. But you can take a look and see where Kent State's getting their minutes and their points from. So we've got 21 minutes. We're looking for anything over. There's 26 from a sophomore, 24 from a senior guard. Looks like a nice little point getter, rebounds, assists. Looks like a nice little player. We've got 30 points from a senior. So there's two seniors, and we've got a junior. Again, this is all factored into your talent and your depth level. But we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 players over 20 minutes a game, which is playing more than a half. And then you've got 1, 2, 3 contributing there, about 7 within the 15 to 17 range. So you see some decent. See where their minutes are coming from, and they've got some experience in there. And actually the senior forward, Jimmy Hall, 17.7, who leads the team, looks like they're getting a lot of their points down low and certainly rebounding. As you remember correctly, they show a nice offensive rebounding. So this is a guy that they're going to have to keep off the boards. Moving down further, we can take a look at Ohio, and you can see where they're getting their minutes. They've got 1, 2, 3 players that really are giving us substantially most of their minutes. Jerome Stevens, giving him 12 points. We got Kaminsky giving them 13 points at 26 minutes and blocks. So these 3 giving them most. Then you see maybe 1, 2, not a whole lot of people with a more double-digit minutes. It's more of a committee type situation where it looks like everybody's getting a lot of play here. Everybody except for a couple players here. Let's take a look, though, at the decision dashboard. This is where the rubber hits the road, guys. And if you have time, you can bypass this information that's listed on the front page and go straight to the decision dashboard, which will give you your best bet, to your best information to take a look at everything. Decision dashboard is exactly what it is. It gives us an opportunity to make a decision based on the information available. All right, so what we're looking at here right now is we're looking at it's a three tabs. It's an Excel spreadsheet that is downloadable or just open. You can open it right on your phone or on your desktop. First page is comparisons, first tab. So we're looking at the 2015-16 season as opposed to the 2016-17 season. By the way, Happy New Year to everybody out there. All right, so now here we see Kent State is, and comparing the two from a total points per game, we saw this on the front page. They are scoring a little less, but they're defending better. And that little less is really not much. It's less than 1%. 6% defending better is a good number. Here, they're not scoring as much, but again, it's only 2.5%, but they're defending better. So we see already they're scoring less and they're defending better. So that's always a good boat as well for the under. As far as their numbers we saw before, same thing on the over and under, but we're looking at the 505, which happens to be a little bit of a decrease, which I don't like that much because they have so many minutes returning. When you've got 82%, 86% of your minutes and you're dropped just slightly in your RPI rating, that's not a good signal. But anyway, we're not playing Ohio as the play. We're playing Ohio as the team. I mean, the under here. Looking at 127, they're 524. They've gone down 14%. So as much as they've gone down, these guys have gone down. And it's probably reflected in some of the scoring. At least we're going to hope so. As we look at the internal analytics, we see that their scoring is significantly more down at 13% based on their ratings from this year to last year. And Ohio's down 5%. Again, what we really like to see is the defense up 17%, up 29%. These are good numbers on a rating standpoint to tell us that defensively these two teams are really performing much better than they did last year, and we're obviously counting on that for the under. Offensive rebounding, we've talked about Kent State being up and Ohio being down. Defensive rebounding, they're both down. That typically, since they're both going both the same way except for comparison, that really bodes a little better for Kent State. So we could say that there's a potential to break our over on the Kent State side. Looking at returning minutes, we talked about this already. That's not a comparison number, but we do compare the total ratings. We've got one team here that's up 3% and one down 2.6%. This predictive score, once again, is based upon our algorithms and our information. And that total score, as you see, 69 and 68 is, what is that, 137. We're looking at 138, 139 against a 144. Players. We look at the player information. We've already went over this. But this does is line up 2017 to 2016 to help give you an idea. Are these guys going in the right direction? Are they, performing as well as they did last year? If you look at the big score, Antonio Campbell, he looks about the same. For Ohio, Kaminsky is scoring about the same with the same amount of minutes. Actually, a little less minutes. And you got Simmons, who is scoring about a little less, but with a little less minutes. Looks like Carter, the freshman, has come in and taken some of those minutes away, perhaps. So, but nothing in here that gives us any great indication other than we can look at the two teams and see how they're doing. Are they up and down? But we've already seen that they're down a little bit in scoring on a game-by-game basis. This last page is your schedule and results. It gives you an idea of what the team has performed or how the team has performed this year. Quick look at this. We see that today, Ohio is playing Kent State. We already know that. Okay, we're going to look for an RPI from the opponent, a similar number. So if we look up here, our first number we see is Texas at 507. Texas, they scored 121 points. That's your total points over here, under 142 by 20 points. That was a very good under that came in from Kent State. We're looking at 505. We'll look up here, 518. We got a 131, again an under. So those are two indicators for an under. And they're recent, which is good. It's more trendy as you get closer to the game time. 505, we're looking at 514 here, 154. This is an over, so we would have, this one goes against us. Looking again at 505, there's no more in the fives. Let's see, high 490s. Here's a 465, 158, but NGIT is really an inferior team, so they're difficult to use. So looking at this, we can say, okay, Kent State is more to the under based on similar teams with similar records. If we wanted to move up, we could even take a look at Northeastern at 548, although a better ball club, still 143 right there at the number we're looking at. So I don't see anything here that scares me away from the under on the Kent State side. Let's look at Ohio. take a look at Ohio. Ohio is playing Kent State, which is 450. Here's a 468 number, 133. That's obviously a number. We're looking for 450, 475, close enough, 124. Again, another nice number. There's two of them. Now we're at 450. We're looking, here's 420. That's 132. Another number, that's 3. Now, one thing I haven't looked at is home and home, where they're playing it at home. So Cleveland State was at home and under. Bryant was at home, a nice under. Looking for 450. Don't really see any other ones in here that are going to fit there. But there's 3 nice ones. And at home, that suggests an under. This 468 was away. So I'm looking at this game and I'm saying this is a nice little play. So if you'd like, you can look at any and all of our games and you can evaluate in depth and in detail where these plays should be. But this is one of the reasons why you see on our website, and when we do a best bet, we ask you to look at it, but not just take our word for it, but we see Kent State, Ohio, under 144.5. Happy hunting, guys. Good luck, and go out there and make some money and bust a bookie today. If you have any questions, call me. My name is Chuck Olson. You see, this is January 6th, 12:44, well in advance of the game. So if you have a chance, I hope you take a look at this. Most importantly, I hope you enjoy your day, and God bless you all. Thank you. My phone number, 832-646-3007, or reach me at cs@matchupcenter.com. Goodbye.